Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about Game 80 of the regular season where the Rangers lose 4-3 to the Carolina Hurricanes. Believe it or not, I actually see this as an okay game. Yeah, we lost, and at one point it was kind of embarrassing, but I gotta be honest, I think there's quite a bit of positives you can take from this game. Let's briefly run through the scoring because there are 7 goals to talk about, and then I'll talk about why I think it's okay that we lost. First goal, Trocheck is left way too wide open. K'Andre Miller loses his stick on this play, and when you lose your stick, you're supposed to play pretty tight to the body, and K'Andre Miller just didn't. I love K'Andre Miller. I will defend him to the bitter end, but man, he is 6'5", 220. He has got to play more physical. And I'm not saying he has to lay people out and hit them with hits that require an ambulance to drive them home, but man, you got to be a little bit closer to him than that. He is left wide open, and yeah, there's nothing Igor can do on that slap shot. A little bit later on, Canes have it in our defensive zone. Their forecheck is going crazy. Derek Stefan takes a shot on net, and Martinook tips it in. I don't know how you could possibly blame Igor for this goal. Look at where he is. I don't know how this goal was even allowed to stand, if I'm being honest. I thought that should have been goaltender interference. And even if you say, that's not goaltender interference, okay, you cannot look me in the eyes and say Shesterkin should have had that. Martinook is so much in his grill, it's insane. But soon thereafter, the Rangers get one back. Vetrano into the offensive zone. Beautiful play. Chris Kreider with a gorgeous backhand. 52 goals for Chris Kreider this season. He hit 50 and you couldn't stop him. And the Rangers make it 2-1. However, after that, the third Carolina goal. And I've honestly not had to criticize the third defensive pair in a while because they've played really solid hockey. They have played hockey where you barely notice them in our own end, which means they're playing good as a defensive pair. The defensive pairs in their own end are sort of like offensive linemen, where if they're doing their job, you don't really notice them. And that is the best compliment I can give to the Nemeth-Schneider pair, which is I haven't really noticed him. However, both of them made poopy mistakes on this play. Brendan Schneider way overplays Vincent Trocheck, and because of that, he easily hands it to Teravainen, who goes, zip, zip, I will go past you, and Schneider was blown away, just, like, left in the dust by him, and then Nemeth played it just a bit not great. He played it as if Schneider was barreling down on him, and he was going to have to try to pass it because he couldn't really get a shot off cleanly, and he very could get a shot off cleanly. Nemeth tried to then get over to him. He couldn't in time. They whiz it past Shesterkin. Would it have been nice for Shesterkin to have had that? Yes. I think it's like 50-50 on the defense and on Shesterkin. He was not happy with it, though, and Shesterkin, for the first time that I've really ever seen him, is clearly upset at a goal. I don't know if it was upset at himself or upset at the defensive pair. I'm going to guess himself. But that's not the kind of thing you want to see your goaltender have happen right before the playoffs. You do not want him to feel down on himself, and hopefully he was just frustrated and not down. Now, the fourth goal for Carolina is where you really notice the difference between Jacob Trouba and me, right? Because there are clear differences. Jacob Trouba is 6'2" and built like a hockey player. I'm like 5'8" and built like a person that talks about hockey. Trouba keeps his hair short. I grow my hair out quite a bit. But another difference between the two of us is that I have not forgotten about Sebastian Aho since the qualifying round in 2020 where he scored a hat trick against us. And on this play, Jacob Trouba forgot he existed when he was standing about 5 feet in front of him. Seth Jarvis plays it into the offensive zone, and Miller does a great job covering him. Jarvis just leaves a drop pass. Sebastian Aho completely unguarded by Jacob Trouba, who, oddly, that was very strange, because Trouba is probably our best pure defenseman, if I had to guess. Like, if I had to say. And he just, I don't know what happened there. Aho takes a slap shot from point-blank range, and yeah, no goalie is stopping that, and it's 4-1 Carolina. Now, the Rangers would almost launch a comeback. The first goal was Jacob Trouba kind of making up for his mistake on the Aho goal, and it's very strange, because Mika plays it into the zone, gives it to K'Andre Miller along the blue line. He gives it to Jacob Trouba. He takes a shot from the blue line and scores. And the shot type on the NHL's app says deflected shot, which is strange because Trouba did not deflect that from the blue line, unless they're saying another player touched it. They're just not really sure which one, which is Kind of weird to say, but regardless, the Rangers score to make it 4-2, and we would also get a third one. And with just a hair over a minute to go, Rangers win a face-off. We're passing it around, Fox to Kreider. Kreider sets up Alexis Lafreniere beautifully, who buries it. His 18th goal of the season. What, Laffy, underratedly, could maybe hit 20 goals. I mean, it'd be kind of tough because he'd need to score 2, but, like, Lafreniere. And, like, especially after, like, December, like the start of January to now, pretty darn solid for Lafreniere. That would make it 4-3, which we almost launched a comeback to tie it, but we just couldn't quite do it. We could have if two players hadn't fanned on slap shots with like under 10 seconds left, but c'est la vie, we lose. Now, we lost, and that is not ideal. However, I'm going to say this. Panarin and Kopp both left the game in this first period with injuries. After the game, Gerard Gallant said that, yeah, if this happened a week from now, which the playoffs start next Tuesday, they would have come back in the second and third period. They would not have been out. They were not bad injuries. But they want to be very cautious because, A, it's a back-to-back, and B, the playoffs start in a week, guys. So I'm not concerned about their injuries. Also, Kaapo Kakko was a day or a game-time decision. Along with that, so was Kopp being back in the first place. And look, we lost. But we had a really good third period. We had an incredible first period. Once again, we played 2 periods out of 3 incredibly well against the Carolina Hurricanes. And in this one, for the first 2 periods, we got goalied. Peter Kotichkov, I'm butchering that, I'm sorry, but man oh man, in his 3rd NHL game, he goalied us for 40 minutes. Like, he was spectacular this evening against the New York Rangers. And it was a mix of that. You were down 2 of your best players, especially how good Kopp's been after acquiring him. And in the third, you outplayed him. I'm not mad. I don't want to see the Hurricanes for a few games come postseason time, but overall, I thought you played well against a very, very good team, a juggernaut in the division, and you were down 2 of your best players. Along with that, I know Shesterkin allowed 4 goals. This is going to switch sides or switch gears for a minute. I thought Igor played a great game. There were so many saves that we did not deserve by Igor Shesterkin, especially in that first period. I mean, by the time it was 4-1, it easily could have been 8-1. There were so many ridiculous saves in the first period by Igor Shesterkin. Like, this game could have been completely out of hand instead of being only out of hand. I know that sounds like I'm really just sucking up to Igor Shesterkin. I'm trying not to, but man, I know 4 goals sounds bad on paper. He was magnificent tonight, and don't let the 4 goals dissuade you from that. But I'm not particularly mad with this game. I would have liked to have won. It would have been cool to, potentially still have had a shot at breaking our franchise record in wins and also at the division. But overall, the prospect of playing either the Capitals or the Penguins doesn't sound too bad to me. Call me insane if you want. Boston kind of scares me, just with the sense that Boston, and you might say this about, the Capitals and the Penguins as well, but Boston just knows how to play playoff hockey. Not in the sense that they know how to win in the playoffs, but the sense that they know how to be very, very, very dirty in the playoffs. And I would rather just not deal with them during the playoffs. So with the last 2 games coming up, we know where we are. We are finishing 2nd in the division. We can't move up or down. Just, this is where we are. We are going to play either the Penguins or the Capitals. I'm pretty okay with that. The first playoff game is going to be in MSG next Tuesday, which is very exciting. And that means the last 2 games, all you want to work on is fine-tuning everything. You got a game tomorrow. So realistically, you're going to fine-tune all the final things on Friday when you play, potentially, your matchup in the playoffs, the Washington Capitals. But that's getting ahead of it. First game we have is tomorrow. We're playing Montreal. We're still in MSG, and that is at 7:30 Eastern. I will be here afterwards to talk about it. So that is all I have to say for the evening. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Rangers.